Hi, I'm Dr. Richard Lewis Miller. I'm an 87-year-old clinical psychologist, and I've been advocating for certain health regimes for over 50 years. I've been advocating for clean air, clean water, clean food, a good night's sleep, and as much exercise as you can get. Hanging out with friends is definitely part of it. I'm really proud to say that nowadays more and more professionals are talking up the value of exercise. Even small amounts of exercise seem to be very beneficial. I heard one Stanford professor today say that even minutes a day adds to your life. What I know about the exercise is not that it adds to the life, because it may or may not. I mean, I'm 87, so maybe it did add to my life. However, it's the benefit that I get the day I do the exercise. You see, when you do aerobic exercise for a half hour, you get 2.5 hours of endorphin release. That's a high, and it's a lot of fun. And if you do one consecutive hour, you get 7.5 hours of this endorphin release. That's a real lot of fun. That's enough to make your day. And so if you do it every day, it becomes cumulative. So you constantly are producing these endorphins and giving yourself a natural high. It makes the world look a lot better. Coming back to that professor who told us that exercise increases lifespan, I went to somewhere where he posts and I wanted to make a comment to him, and I did. And I read a few of the other comments, and I was very saddened. So many people were saying to him, well, why would I want to live longer? I don't know if I want to live to 90 or 100, or why do I want to even live to 75 or 80? The world is shit. This isn't any fun. Why would I want to be here? And I read quite a few of those. And I was really saddened by it. And that's why I'm talking to you tonight. You know, the gift of being here is the gift. We don't get any guarantees coming in. Some of us get dealt a pretty shitty hand of cards. Others get dealt, they're going to become the king of England. There is an inheritance factor. We can't get away from it. That's genetics. That's the luck of the dice. But we may be able to do something about it eventually. And my colleague, Dr. Bruce Lipton, is working on that, and he started the whole field of epigenetics, attempting to make changes inside in order to change how we are totally in this thing that we call a body that we live in. That's how I see it. I live inside of this thing, and it takes a lot of maintenance. Okay, so you get dealt a genetic inheritance, but then you can modify it hugely with what you do with your life and in the environment. And there are those of you who are saying, I got dealt such a shitty hand, I'm never going to get out of it. Well, you know what? A lot of people go to movies that are scary. A lot of people go to movies where people are getting knocked around and banged around and stuff like that. A lot of people go to comedies and musicals. These are all shows. Look at your life as a show. If you got dealt a difficult hand, see yourself as an actor in a play where you got dealt a difficult hand. In other words, take this gift that we got called life, make the best of it, and make the best of it. And again, if you don't want to spend some of your time doing the exercise and breathing, drinking clean water and eating food, you just want to let it all go, that's your right. I'm not here to preach against that. I'm just here to tell you what works. And what works is conscious breathing, learning how to deal with anxiety, exercising, which is good for anxiety, taking in clean fuel. You don't want to piss on a Mercedes Benz, never, never, never. Doing a little something for these things called muscles so that they don't wear out by the time you're 40 or 50 and you're walking around like an old person. Those basic things with some clean air, some kind of job, friends so important, family so important, basics. But there's a good time to be had. And so those of you who are writing those letters about how grim your lives are, I wonder, can we reach out to you and raise you up with us so that you know that we're all in this together in some way? As Cicero said 2,000 years ago, if you see a stranger on the road, be kind to him because he's going through what you're going through. Until next time, this is Dr. Richard Lewis Miller reminding you that good health, it's worth fighting for.